We all know about Portal, and you most likely have played one of them, if not both of them, at some point in your life. At this point, the Portal games are absolute classics, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to get all of the achievements in the first one. Portal has 15 achievements on Steam with a pretty wide spread in terms of global unlock percentage. You'll see why when we get to the rarer ones. The most common, of course, are the story-related ones, and the least common are for mastering the challenge maps. For this video, we'll start out with all of the achievements related to the story mode. Now, in order to get the transmission received collectible achievement, you'll need to have already beaten the game once. So I'd recommend going through and beating the game once, and then coming back here to follow the guide and pick up the rest of the achievements. During your first playthrough, you'll get the achievements Lab Rat, Fratricide, Partygoer, and Heartbreaker. As we go through getting the rest of the achievements available in the story mode, I'll also be pointing out at what point you would get these. The two collectible achievements in the game are Transmission Received and Camera Shy. Transmission Received is for taking all of the hidden radios to a specific spot in each section to catch a signal and receive a Morse code message. Camera Shy is for taking down all of the cameras in the levels that you're able to, and you must do all of them in one run, as it resets your counter once you beat the game. However, for the radios, you can come back to get one if you miss it, but as long as you follow this guide, you'll get them all in one run. In the starting chamber, you'll immediately see the first radio. The light will be red on yours until you take it to catch the frequency. Mine's green because I went through this the first time to test it. You'll need to pick it up and take it with you to the next room. The way to know you're close to catching the signal is when the music on the radio gets staticky, and then once you hold the radio over this button, it should turn green and start playing the Morse code message. In this one, you'll need to carefully walk to the edge of the starting platform and look to the right. Sitting on the camera is the next radio, which you'll need to take with you up to the exit door. In this chamber, the first thing you'll need to do is go get the blue portion of the portal gun. Once you're in possession of it, shoot a portal at the camera above the large window in the main room to knock it down, then go back to the hallway outside the entrance door to knock down the camera at the end of the hallway. Go all the way in the entrance area and knock down the camera right above the door. Then you'll need to retrieve the radio sitting on top of the wall by shooting a portal onto the ceiling and dropping down on top of it. Move it to the area where you grabbed the portal gun to activate it. The first camera in this chamber is right next to the chamber sign. The next one is across the gap and to the right of the orange portal. And the last one is to the right of the exit door. When you knock down this last camera, you will also knock down the radio. You'll need to take the radio over to the orange portal and put down the blue portal on the inside corner of the ceiling, and hold the radio through to catch the signal. In Chamber 4, the first camera is right above the button at the beginning of the chamber. The other one is to the right of the exit door. When the cube drops down into the pit, the radio for this chamber will also drop down. You'll need to take it back to the beginning of the chamber to catch a signal. The first camera for this chamber is above the doorway right past the level sign. The next one is right on the other side of that doorway to the left. Once the door is activated and open, you'll see the radio sitting there on the other side, but do not go through the door. If you go through the door, it will shut behind you and you won't be able to go actually catch a signal with the radio, so just put a portal down underneath it to bring it over to the other side. Then you'll need to take it down into the pit to catch the signal. And once you drop down into the exit hallway, the last camera will be right behind you. Now, chambers 6 through 10 do not have any cameras, so it will literally just be radios for these. For this one, the radio is in the ceiling above the energy pellet emitter. You'll need to put a portal next to where the radio is, and as you drop down, try to grab it. This took me a while to actually grab, but eventually you'll get it down, just keep trying. Then, you'll need to take it over to the lift that takes you to the exit. This radio is underneath the starting stairs. You'll need to take it to the back right corner behind the moving platform stand, look toward the other stand, and look toward the ceiling to catch the signal. The radio here is sitting on the right stand of the moving platform. You'll need to get onto the platform and grab the radio as the platform moves past it, then take the radio back to the beginning of the chamber in front of the sign. The radio in this chamber is in the hole above the fizzler doorway. You'll need to take a cube and push the radio through. It might take a few tries in case the radio gets destroyed, but once you get it down, you'll need to take the radio to the doorway that is opened from the button. There is only one camera in this chamber, which is directly across from the level sign. The radio is in the second room on the left wall right before the gap. You'll need to jump across the gap and then jump back down and grab the radio on your way back. Once you have the radio, just use the portals to jump back across while holding it, and it will activate. I accidentally dropped it when I went through, but even if you're not holding it, it'll still go off. The only camera on this level is right above the entry passage. The radio in this one is on the ledge above the energy pellet catcher. You'll need to put a portal next to it, reach through and grab it, and then take it to where the orange part of the portal gun is. I would recommend waiting to get the radio until you retrieve the other part of the gun, which, by the way, is how you get the Lab Rat achievement. This one also only has a radio, which you'll need to get up to the third level and drop down on top of the extended wall sections. The radio will be sitting on the top of the center beam that's holding them up, and you'll just need to take the radio back to the left corner behind where the button is. The first camera here is above the entry passage. The second one is on the other side of the activated doorway directly to the left of it. The radio is also in the second room on the wall above the moving platform. You'll need to jump onto the platform, grab the radio, and take it back to the first room above the button. The last camera is on the left side of the exit hallway. In Chamber 14, there is once again just a radio. It is located to the right of the entryway up on a ledge on the wall. You'll need to use portals to shoot up from the floor to grab it, and then take it to the middle platform that you have to jump across above the death liquid. The first camera here is on the right wall past the level sign. The second camera is to the right of the door on the other side of the fizzler field. Right above this doorway, you'll need to put a portal on the ceiling so that you can reach down to grab the radio and then take it back over to the entrance. The third camera is in the second room on the left wall. The fourth one is in the third room on the left side of the stairs area. The final camera is at the lift room entrance above the doorway. There is also a second radio on this level. In the lift room, it is inside the case where the energy pellet receiver is. You'll need to quickly activate both buttons to bring the barriers down, put a portal on the ground in front of the case, and jump down into the other side of the portal so that you shoot up and can jump inside to grab the radio. You'll need to do this part very quickly so that you can jump back out with the radio, or you'll get stuck and must load a save. You'll then need to take it up the lift and toward the exit to activate. You can also get the terminal velocity achievement on this level. You just have to put a portal down on the ceiling and one on the floor, jump through, and just continue falling until it pops. Once the door opens, the first camera is on the wall straight ahead. The second one is in the second room in the same sort of position. On this level, you can get the friendly fire achievement by taking one of the turrets and knocking over one of the other turrets with it. The third camera is on the wall behind the third turret. In the room with all of the cubes, you'll see a radio sitting there. Take it back to the area where the wall is popped out, and there is writing on the wall to activate it. The fourth camera is in the button room on the back wall behind one of the turrets. The last camera for this level is to the left of the first turret through the door. The first camera for this chamber is at the end of the second energy pellet hall. Once through the door, the other camera is right above the leftmost door. Once you get the third platform raised, grab the radio that was underneath it and take it to the incinerator. At the end of this chamber, when you drop your companion cube into the incinerator, that is also when you'll get the Fratricide achievement. On this level, once you get across the first gap, go into the hole in the wall to the left. The radio is sitting on the stairs, and you'll need to take it with you to the next platform over, put a portal in the ceiling, and drop the radio through to activate it. The first camera is in the turret room to the left of the entrance. The second radio on this level is above the box that the energy pellet receiver is in. You'll need to use portals to shoot up from the ground on top of it. Take the radio to the button on the other side of the room. The other camera is on the right wall at the beginning of the flinging room. There is also another radio on this level down in the corner of the pit, so you'll need to take that all the way up to the exit. The easiest way to do this is just to drop it at the entrance area, get to the exit, look down, put a portal there, go through, grab it, and bring it back up. The first camera is in the first room on the right wall. The second one is above the button in the moving platform section. The very last camera is further down the hall in the moving platform section, and then you should have the camera shy achievement pop up. Once you get to the fire pit, put the portal you jump into directly above the radio to the left. Once safely up on the top, reach through the blue portal to pick the radio up. This is also where you will get the Partygoer achievement. Take it with you while you're escaping until you get to the spot with large fans on either side. Past that and to the right, there is an office with a bunch of computers where you'll catch a signal. Further into the escape, you'll come up to a part with a bunch of pistons coming up from the floor and a set of stairs over to the right. Underneath the stairs on the other side of the fence, you'll need to go through a vent, grab the radio, and take it further up past more pistons to a slab of concrete where you'll catch the signal. Once you get through the piston trap that drops you down with a bunch of turrets, you'll find yourself in a turret maintenance room with a radio on the table. Grab it and take it further down through until you drop on top of another turret. Once the container opens, take the radio straight across the room and into the vent to the right. The last radio is in the last giant room that has the muddy water in the bottom. You'll need to take it up with you all the way to the top and hold it over the giant green generators, and you should get the transmission received achievement. This is also the area that you can get the long jump achievement by putting a portal above this door and the door that's directly down below you. If you line them up correctly, you'll end up looping through a couple of times and then get the achievement. And once you get to the very end and finish the fight with GLaDOS, you will get the Heartbreaker achievement. To get the Cupcake, Fruitcake, and Vanilla Crazy Cake achievements, you'll need to complete the advanced maps. Completing 2 will get you Cupcake, 4 for Fruitcake, and all 6 for Vanilla Crazy Cake. For map 13, you'll need to come out and stand on the button in the first room, look up out the door, and place a portal on the box on the ceiling above one of the buttons in the second room. Once you go through that, you'll need to use portals to direct the energy pellet into the catcher to start the moving platform, and drop down on top of it to grab the cube and jump down onto the black platform sitting in the liquid. Then, put a portal on the wall to take the cube over on top of one of the buttons and stand on the other button to open the door. Then, you can look through the exit door and use a portal to jump through it. For map 14, you'll need to come over to the left side past the stairs and place a portal on the floor next to the cube and another one on the floor where the top of the stairs come up from. Jump down to shoot up next to the cube, grab the cube, and bring it all the way back over to the button down the hallway. You'll then need to put one portal near the energy pellet catcher, go through the door and put the other portal into the room with the energy pellet. Go back to the catcher and go through the portal so that you can now move this portal to be in the path of the pellet, follow the pellet through, and move the other side of the portal to be in a position where the pellet will come through and into the catcher. Then just wait for another one to be sent, and it will activate the moving platform, allowing you to reach the exit. And once you jump into the elevator, you'll get the Cupcake achievement. For Advanced Map 15, you'll need to come into the first room and place portals to get into an infinite fall. Then, while falling through, shoot the portal that's on the ceiling over to the platform sticking out of the wall so that you'll shoot out and over the barrier. For the second room, you'll need to use these portals to get the pellet through each fizzler section and direct it into the catcher. In the third room, you'll need to put a portal on the ceiling in the stairwell on the left, and a portal on the floor next to the barrier. Go through the portal on the floor, and as you're falling in the stairwell, place the other portal on the floor so that you shoot up and over the other side of the barrier. For the next section, you'll need to go over to the other side of the barrier and use portals to get the pellet shot across and into the catcher. You'll then need to use portals to get through the moving platform tunnel and into the final room. Here, you'll need to put a portal on the ceiling of one of the button rooms, go into the other one, put a portal on the floor by the platform, activate one button, and then jump through to activate the other. As soon as both are activated, quickly put portals down to direct the energy pellet into the catcher sitting in the box. Once that is activated, you can take the other raising platform up to the exit. For Advanced Map 16, the only real difference here is that the turrets have a protective cage around them. You'll need to get on top of the first turret and crouch down to get through that doorway. Once you get to the hallway with turrets on both sides, you can get through in multiple ways. The easier is probably to just take a cube and hold it to block shots and run to the room that has a lot of cubes, but I did a different way when recording this. The way that I got through it was to use the cubes to block the left turret and position portals so that I could run through the hall and get into the room with all of the cubes. Then, just use those cubes to block off a safe area close to the button room and bring the other cubes over there. Then you could use those extra cubes to block a path over to the button, put one on top of the button, and then you can use portals to hop through the next couple of fenced off areas and into the elevator. Now that you've completed 4 of the advanced maps, you'll get the Fruitcake achievement. For map 17, you basically do everything the same as in the normal map, but instead of a cube, you have a sphere. In the room with the energy pellet emitter and catcher, you need to use the ball to bounce the pellet up and over the barrier and into the catcher. For the room with the double doors, you'll need to use the ball to open the first door, and once you have the pellet come through, close that one to trap it between the 2 doors and open the second door so that it passes through and hits the catcher. Once you jump off of the platforms that were raised up, you'll need to get the ball through the hole in the wall and jump through. Then, complete the level as you would normally. For map 18, you'll need to use momentum to shoot across this first gap, and while flying over, put a portal on the floor on the next section to the right. Then, it's a little simpler, just portal hop to the area with the button, and go into the turret room. You'll need to get over to the other side where the button is, which I accomplished by just looking through portals to get one into that room without actually going through. And then once you have the portal in that room, go through, put a portal on the platform in the liquid outside, hit the button, put a portal on the ramp that moves out, and jump through to shoot over into the cube area. Now to get the cube back over, I just put a portal on the wall near the door, and the other one on the platform that's down in the liquid. Then, once you get over there, leave the cube at the door, and go back to the button, activate it, get back over, take the cube through. You can proceed normally from here to the end of the level. The only thing is, in the flinging room, the platforms sink once you go through. So you'll need to shoot portals at the next platform each time and make sure you go all the way quickly in one try to get to the exit. And with the last map complete, you'll get the Vanilla Crazy Cake achievement. Before we get into getting gold on all the challenge maps, let's go over a couple of things. The first being that there is a way to get these done by using the dev console, giving yourself noclip and god mode, and then flying to the exit. I'll go over how exactly you do that, and then we'll go through how to actually get each of the challenges done, because yes, I'm just that crazy. As for the second thing, I want to make sure you guys understand that you should make save points throughout these challenges. Once you get through one step on time with the right number of steps or with the right number of portals, just make a save so that you don't have to do it over again. That saved me a good amount of frustration and time when going through these. Now for the dev console way, once you get into the first challenge map, go to the options, keyboard, advanced, and then enable developer console. Hit the key that brings up the console, and then copy and paste the command from the description into the console. The key specified after bind can be changed to whatever you want to use to enable God mode and noclip. So once that keybind is set, you can hit that key and fly straight to the elevator and repeat for all of the challenges. Now with that option out of the way, let's get into actually completing these. You'll need to get through this one with only 4 portals. So to get started, place 1 portal on the floor next to the button and 1 portal up by the cube. Once you put the cube on the button, you'll need to look through the door and place a portal on the wall next to the closer button. Take the cube through and throw it onto the other button while staying on the first button. It may take you a few tries to get it, but then the door will open and you can put a portal on the other side to get to the exit. For this one, you'll need to get through with 10 or less steps. As you go through, just compare your step counter to mine after each section and be sure to stay at or below it. To start, you'll need to put a portal as close to the entrance as possible and the other right next to the button. You'll need to run and jump so that you go through the portal with only 2 steps and then shoot a portal on the other side to stop you from going back through. This will generally be the way we start every least step challenge. Once by the button, you'll need to place a portal by the cube and reach through the portal to grab it and throw it onto the button. Then, you'll need to put a portal on the ceiling outside the door, drop the cube through, and then go through yourself. Then use portals to drop the cube on the further button, and also use portals to drop yourself onto the closer one. You'll want to drop right on the edge of the button so that you barely push it down. Then put a portal on the floor, through the door as far in as possible, and place the other portal down on the floor below you. Jump through, and then you should be able to walk straight into the elevator right at 10 steps. For the least time, you'll need to make it in less than 19 seconds. You'll need to run straight to the first button, put a portal by the cube, a portal on the wall, grab the cube, and put it on the button. Then put a portal above the first button in the second room, take the cube through, jump over to the second button, put a portal on the other side of the door, and run to the exit. You'll need to get to the end with only 2 portals for this one. Go straight to the platform sitting in front of the exit and put a portal down. Then go to the left and up the stairs. Once the stairs go back down, put a portal where the top of the stairs come up from and jump down. You'll shoot up and into the exit area. You'll need to get to the end with 10 or less steps. Coming out, you'll need to put a portal right next to the platform and jump out to pop up over there. Then put a portal on the ceiling over to the left. Go through it, and as you're falling, put that same portal below you so that you shoot up and onto the exit area and can run inside. You'll need to get this one done in 10 seconds or less. Do it the same way as the least steps, but as quickly as possible, and you'll get it. For this one, you'll need to get to the end while only using 14 portals. At the beginning, you'll need to put 1 portal in the lower middle section of the different colored squares, and then the other one in the middle of the extended part of the wall to shoot over the barrier. In the next room, you'll need to use 4 portals to direct the energy pellet into the catcher. In the next section, you'll need to put a portal on the extended part of the wall, and the other in the ceiling of the stairwell section. Jump through, and as you're flying down, put a portal on the ground to keep momentum and shoot over the barrier. You'll then need to use portals to hop through the tunnel without actually going through any of them until you get a portal in the last room. In the last room, you'll need to put a portal on the ground next to the exit and another one by the moving platforms so that you can jump down into it and shoot up into the exit. you'll need to get to the end of this one with 55 or less steps. I made it in 44, so you have a good amount of wiggle room for this one. While going through everything, be sure to keep your step count on par with me. To start it off, you'll need to put a portal on the ground in the same lower middle position and jump over to it. Then, put a portal on the extended section of the wall to shoot over the barrier. Use portals to then hop right next to the barrier near the catcher and direct the energy pellet into the catcher. Use portals to get to the entrance to the stairwell room, put a portal on the extended part of the wall, go into the stairwell, put a portal on the bottom, jump down and put a portal below you as you fly across to shoot over the barrier. Try to keep it at or below 22 steps by this point. Once across, you'll then need to portal on the ground to position yourself at the doorway to the tunnel. You'll need to use portals to get to the last room by stepping halfway through, shooting a portal, and then coming back in. You may be able to get through this part with less steps than I did, since I didn't do it the most efficiently. Once in the final room, use a portal to drop yourself on the platform to the left, ideally close to the edge. Put a portal on the ground next to the exit, and then the other one on the ground at the base of the platform. You'll then need to jump through and shoot up into the exit area and walk right in. For this one, you'll need to get through it in less than 54 seconds. Essentially, you need to do things the exact same way as how we got through the least steps one. The only real difference is that in the last room, you'll need to portal into the button room to the left, put a portal underneath you by the base of the platform, the other by the exit, and then jump through. On this one, you can run through the first area with the first turret to block shots / knock others over. Once you get to the point where there are a couple of cubes, you can grab a cube and use it to brute force your way to the button. Once you get to the button, just put a portal by the exit and portal through to make it out using only 2 portals. For this one, you have to get to the end in 40 or less steps. To start, you'll portal over to the door and wait for it to open. Then, use portals to get rid of the turret and portal your way over to the corner by the door as close as you can get. Walk slightly further out to put a portal on the floor and jump through. Keep portaling your way through until you get to the room with all of the cubes. I got through this in a somewhat messy way, so as long as you stick to around the same steps, you'll be fine. This map is pretty straightforward on how to get through it with the least amount of steps. Once I got to the end, I still made it in only 26 steps. For this one, you'll need to get through it in 52 seconds. I think this one may have been the hardest to get done. It took me a very long time of frustratingly ending with 53 seconds, so really you just have to portal through at the beginning and then brute force your way past to the button room and portal to the exit door, very quickly without messing any of the steps up. For this one, you'll need to get through it using only 2 portals. You'll go through normally with the companion cube until you get to the room with all of the different doorways to side rooms. Use 2 portals to knock the camera down, then take the camera and cube over to the area where you would throw the cube in the incinerator. You'll need to get the camera standing upside down against the wall, then put the cube on top of it and climb up. Then you can take the cube to the end as normal. For this one, you'll need to get to the end in 150 steps or less. As I was going through it, I didn't do it the most effective way, so you should be able to get it in less. But it's not too hard to get this one done. Once you get past the 2 energy pellet hallways, you'll need to put 1 portal next to the left glass wall here, and start shooting the orange portal until it pops up on the other side of the wall. You can then take the cube straight to the end as you would normally, but be conservative with your steps to keep it under 150. This one you'll need to finish in 1 minute and 27 seconds or less. Take the cube through the 2 hallways as quickly as possible, but stop once you get to the doorway after the second hallway. You'll need to drop the cube in the doorway, put a portal right above it, and 1 on the lower part of the wall at the end of the second hallway. Jump on the cube and then jump up into the top of the doorway, which will send you through the portal and into the ending area. Then you'll need to put the second portal in the room, go through to grab the cube, and finish it as normal. For this one, you'll need to get through it using only 16 portals. To start it off, you'll need to portal over to the next section over across the gap, and then go into the hole in the wall to the left. There, you'll need to grab the computer that's sitting on the stairwell and take it with you. Go to the edge of the platform until you can see a sliver of the ceiling far into the level. Put a portal there, and another on the wall across the gap, and jump through with the computer. Then portal up the rest of the way to the door, and get the computer set up so that it's leaning against the door. Now go to the button, stand on it so that the door will open, step off to close the door, and the computer should keep the door open. You can then put a portal down on one of the platforms below to get back to the door. Look through the door and put a portal on the ceiling down the hall. For the last part, you'll need to go through it like normal, using one portal on each platform all the way to the end. You'll need to get to the end of this one with 85 or less steps. Portal to the end of the starting platform and then put one up on the wall to get momentum to shoot across to the other side. Walk through the gap and grab the computer. Then portal up to the doorway the same way as we did for the least amount of portals and set the computer down, leaning against the door. Portal over to the button, get the door propped open so that you can go back over, look through the door, and portal to the last part. You'll go through the flinging room the same way as normal and then get to the exit. For this one, you'll need to get to the end within 1 minute and 13 seconds. To start it off, you'll put a portal on the back left corner of the starting area. Go all the way back to the left corner and look up to the right where you can see a small sliver of the ceiling further in. Put a portal there and go through. But while falling through, put a portal on the floor on the next section and on the floor beneath you. Once you go through that one, move over so that you land on the section with the button. There, you'll need to go into the turret room, immediately put a portal on the ramp door, go to the right and jump off, and place a portal so that you fly over to the cube. Put a portal by the exit, grab the cube, and drop down into the button room below you. Once in there, hit the button and portal back to the exit to leave. You'll throw the cube on the button and rush over to the flinging room and go through the flinging room like normal, but moving as quickly as possible. You can also save a second or two by hitting the wall on the right by the exit elevator so that you don't go all the way to the back. Once you get this one, you'll receive all 3 of the challenge map achievements. And with that, we now have 100% of the achievements in Portal. If you liked the video or found it helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment with what games you'd like me to cover next.
Satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying.